We need to talk about 2020. Boy, what a lousy year this has been, huh? We've been isolated from our friends and families. We have to put on a hazmat suit to go to buy Cheerios. And look, I'm talking to you not from a radio studio, but from my closet. Acoustics courtesy of my powder blue leisure suit and my extensive flannel shirt collection. But you know what made this year bearable? You and everyone else in the public radio community. We were isolated physically, but we're still together. In fact, I can almost smell Scott Simon's cologne as we speak. Seriously, despite the pandemic and everything else, Terry Gross has kept us company with fantastic interviews. Steve Inskeep has been here every morning to keep us thinking. My brother and I allow you to escape reality entirely for an hour a week. And I don't know how I would have gotten through this summer without all things Pachysandra. And now you know what's coming, right? Your station needs your help. Those underwriting checks from Rocco's Bolodrome haven't exactly been flying through the door like they were in 2019. Pandemic or not, your station still needs to pay reporters, producers, editors, and the electric bill. Not to mention the dry cleaning. You don't think we're all going to broadcast from our closets with the smell of last week's Zupa de Beige all over everything? Your donation, whatever the amount, will make a difference. Please take a minute now and go to donate.npr.org/cartalk. That's donate.npr.org/cartalk. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. And here's to a healthier, more normal 2021.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the Athletic Support Center here at Car Talk Plaza.
If you can't be an athlete, then you should at least become an athletic support.
Absolutely.
These are sent to us by Neil Jackson. These are more allegedly true statements that made by people involved in the sports industry, so to speak.
Sure, go ahead.
Here's what it's pages and pages. I picked out a few of my favorites.
Are you going to identify the people who said
Yeah,
these things?
well, I mean, as it is here. This one is not identified simply as a senior basketball player at the University of Pittsburgh who said, "I'm going to graduate on time no matter how long it takes me." And Bill Peterson, Florida State football coach. "You guys line up alphabetically by height." I like that. Stu Grimson, Chicago Blackhawks left wing, explaining why he keeps a color photo of himself above his locker. "That's so when I forget how to spell my name, I can still find my clothes."
I like that one.
This is my favorite, too. My very favorite. Shelby Metcalf, basketball coach at Texas A&M, recounting what he told a player who received 4 Fs and 1 D. "Son, it looks to me like you're spending too much time on one subject." That's good.
And which subject would that be? If you'd like to spend time on your subject, you can call us at 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. We're getting ready. My brother is removing his sweater. That means now he's going to remove his headset. We're not ready yet. The headset's back on. What happened to your hair today? Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're great.
What's it to you?
No, there's only one of me.
Who's this?
My name's Betsy, and I'm from Connecticut.
Hi, Betsy.
Connecticut.
Connecticut. You don't want to divulge the town.
I live in Sanford, in Fairfield County. So you could probably guess what kind of car I drive.
Yeah, Mercedes.
No, I don't.
Oh, you should.
I don't. No, I have 3 children.
Dodge Caravan.
Chrysler Town and Country.
There you go.
There you go. Sure.
I used to have a Caravan, but I've moved up.
But you moved up. You moved up.
I love it.
Of course.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Every year when the weather gets cold, my shocks start squeaking. I think it's my shocks. And I take it into my friendly local mechanic, who I think is wonderful, and I really like him a lot. And I say to him, "Cola, it's doing it again." His name is Cola.
Like,
Cola?
Like
As in Coca-Cola?
Yeah, I think he's like from Poland.
Cola.
I'm not sure. But I say it's doing it again, and he says, "Oh, yeah, I know, it's squeaking."
Mm-hmm.
And I say, "Yeah, it's squeaking." And he says, "Don't worry about it." So should I worry about it?
What are the conditions under which you hear the squeak?
When it's cold.
And you do what?
And I drive over bumpy areas.
When you hit a bump, you hear,
Yeah.
Just one time, or maybe a couple of times.
Yeah,
And if the road is washboardy, you get.
No, the first. You sound like a cockatiel. My kid said.
How many miles are on this town and country?
50,000.
Not that helps any. I don't know why I asked.
Because you were curious.
It's the equivalent of small talk at a party. Hi, how are you?
How many miles are on your car?
Come here often? No
one does that with me because I'm a therapist, so nobody makes small talk.
No, no.
So how are you related
small
to the
talk
host?
costs money.
So do you work with Sally or what? No, I don't.
Oh, really? Oh, you used to be the neighbor. I understand.
That's right. I can't talk to you about her, I say.
Sally? Who's Sally? I just walked in.
Well,
talk to me about my car.
Well, I think you may have noisy bushings, noisy suspension bushings, control arm bushings and the like.
Mm-hmm.
It should be easy enough for him to reproduce this by bouncing on the bumper.
Right.
So he can do that in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it's coming from the front, I assume.
No, it doesn't sound like it's coming from the front.
Oh,
we wasted
Betsy,
an hour.
Come on. Where's it coming
It's
from?
only coming from the back.
It's only coming from the back. Scratch just about everything we said.
Yeah. You don't have
Let's start over. My name's Betsy.
Hi, Betsy. Where are you from? I bet you have a
Connecticut,
Chrysler Town and
Stanford.
Country.
How long have you known Sally? Do you work with her?
You work with Sally? No, I don't even know who she is.
Jeez, all right.
It
All right,
comes
so
from
let's
the
start over,
back.
guys. It's only coming from the back, I think.
Well, there are bushings in the back, however. There are suspension bushings, and it could be those that are making noise. So he's going to have to figure it out by pushing on the rear bumper then.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to reproduce the noise. But if it's coming only when it's cold, I wouldn't be surprised
If it's bushing.
if it's bushings. And it may even be a shock absorber bushing, in which case you replace the shocks.
Okay. And if it's bushings, am I in any danger while I'm driving this car?
No, wheels are not going to fall off or anything like that.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
What are bushings?
Bushings are rubber and steel devices which allow one piece to pivot against another piece.
Okay.
You understood that?
Vaguely.
Well, I
Sounds
mean,
kinda
like
socks.
if you had two pieces of metal and they had to pivot against each other, if it was just
would
metal
hurt.
against metal, it would hurt.
Right.
And everything would wear out. And the
And
bushing,
it would squeak a lot,
it would make
In
horrible
the cold,
noises.
would it squeak a lot?
especially in the cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the bushing is the thing that's between those two pieces of
Yeah, the
metal.
bushing is the buffer, so to
Okay.
speak, and it also allows movement. And
Okay.
when it gets rusted or when it gets worn out, it can make a squeaking noise.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya,
Good
Betsy.
luck, Betsy. Say hello to Pepsi for us. See you later.
Have fun, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Elliot Hill calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hi, Elliot.
Milwaukee. Elliot, it has come to my attention that there are at least 4 different ways to spell Elliot, and maybe more.
Well, I spelled mine with 2 L's and that's it.
And what?
And an I and an O and a T and an E.
Well, T.S. I mean T.S. spelled his
1 L.
with
Same
1
way,
L and
same
1
way.
T.
Well, I know that, but I chose 2
Elliot
L's.
Thompson has 2 L's and 2 T's.
How do you spell it, Elliot?
2 L's and 2 T's,
Really?
and an I and an O and an E.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah.
So, I have a problem. I have an 88 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe 2.3 EFI, and it has some sort, once it heats up, it has some sort of like a pulsation, whether it be forward lateral or backwards lateral, whatever. It's a pulsation.
Even before you move, you're sitting there in the car.
Well, I'm sitting in the car, but I notice that it's more prevalent when I'm driving the vehicle.
So when you start it up,
Sounds about right.
what do you actually feel? You feel
When the car's sitting, it does kind of lope a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, from 1,000 to 1,100 RPM,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it even drops down from 1,000 to 800, and then
Yeah.
back up to 1,000.
So you feel a very slight, like someone's giving you a little kick in the rear end.
Yeah, kind of like bucking transmission or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Ah,
It's
okay.
called trailer hitching.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that a good description of it?
it's
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the trailer is dragging you back.
Exactly. It has that feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure this out for so long. So many people have this problem.
Well, yes. And if we could solve your problem, we would help millions. We could help about 135 million Americans.
That's right.
There are a lot of things that could be caused by
Yeah,
one
that's
of
the
one of
problem.
which is a vacuum leak.
Ah, yes.
It happens also to be the only thing that I know of. I know you got 5 other things.
Are you kidding me?
I got vacuum leak. That's it.
I should have let you have that one.
No, I don't want it. That's fine.
Your house must be pretty dusty with all those vacuum leaks.
Yeah.
Well, it could also be a lazy or a sticky exhaust gas recirculation valve.
EGR valve.
Yeah. Or a leaky one.
Or a leaky one.
Yeah, that could be also be the source of your vacuum leak, but it could also be the source of too much exhaust getting into the stream of fresh combustibles.
Could it possibly have anything to do with the oxygen sensor?
Sure, it could, but it's unlikely. I mean,
Unlikely.
Unlikely. I mean, you
does this
you
happen?
can experiment with it. You can unplug the oxygen sensor
Okay.
just for a brief test period. Not permanently.
Okay.
Well, you can try unhooking the EGR too. Remove the vacuum source from it. If it has an electrical connector, pull that off too.
Pull that
In
off.
fact, pull everything off.
Disconnect everything.
Yeah.
I
But
like
do
the
one
advice.
thing at a time, otherwise you won't know what fixed it. But unplug the EGR or try the oxygen sensor first. I don't think that's going to do it. The next thing would be the EGR. That
Okay.
may do it.
So unplug the EGR and then take it for a spin?
Yeah.
And I should notice something?
Oh, you should notice an immediate difference.
It should be all gone.
And if that doesn't do it, don't call back because we don't have any other ideas.
I hear that one.
Good luck, Elliot.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure talking to you.
Take care.
Thanks for calling, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Kate from New Paltz,
Hi, Kate.
New York.
I knew where New Paltz was. My brother, being a bore and a Yahoo,
New poles?
had no idea where New
I
Paltz,
had no idea.
New York was. Anyway, Kate, what's up?
Well, I am a garage lift person,
Yeah.
and I'm having a lot of trouble with my car locks freezing up.
Uh-huh.
And the scenario ranges from merely annoying to dangerous.
Sure.
You want to hear?
Yeah.
Sure, give us all
I
the
have
gory
an
details.
inkling about what you're going to say, but let's hear it from you.
I can see it coming.
The annoying sequence is that I managed to get the car lock unfrozen with this lock de-icer stuff.
Yeah.
I get in, and then the door won't latch.
Mm-hmm.
So I stick the seat belt through the door handle and latch myself in with it. Well, the heavier the winter coat I have on,
The more difficult
the
this
more
becomes.
difficult this is.
Yeah.
Well, the next is that neither of the front doors will open, so the hatch almost always opens. So
Right,
I
so you have
open
to
the
crawl
hatch.
in that way.
Yeah. Well, I have all this stuff in the rear, so that's not so easy.
Well, the neighbors must love this. So you take everything out, you crawl in through the hatch, you leave that stuff on the sidewalk.
But then, meanwhile, I can't get out in an emergency.
No.
So this becomes more dangerous.
What kind of Japanese car is this?
You know, it's a Nissan Sentra, 1984.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know if the year matters.
No, the year doesn't
And then the
matter.
other scenario is that when I get in through a back door, then the back door flapped open because it didn't latch.
Oh, this is
And
terrible.
so I locked it to keep it closed, only then to discover that I had locked myself in when that didn't unlock again.
Right, you were forced to then roll a window down and climb out a window. What a
Just about.
pain.
Holy
So
cow.
it's really annoying. And I've tried graphite.
Yeah.
Are we sure that it's the locks themselves that are frozen and not the doors completely? I mean,
Oh, no, the doors.
Can you get the key into the lock?
I can get the key into the lock, yes.
Yeah, what's
Does it
freezing?
turn?
It will only turn just a little bit. And so I know that it's in the right
It is-
channel, you know.
Okay, so it is in the lock. Sometimes the frame of the door freezes if you have sleet.
Yeah,
So-
we know that.
So even if the door is unlocked, it still doesn't open. But it sounds like it is the locks.
And then the latch. And I don't know anything about the mechanism inside.
This is happening because water is staying in the doors somehow.
Yeah.
And the locks are freezing, and as a result of that, because that moisture that's trapped in the doors is somehow evaporating, condensing on the lock mechanisms, freezing, and then preventing the mechanisms from operating. If you drive the car enough or slam the doors enough, if you were to get out of the car and really slam the door like 50 or 60 times in a row,
I'd use like a 15-pound sledgehammer, which you're probably on the verge of doing anyway.
you would probably get the thing unfrozen just from all the energy that you're imparting to this mechanism by slamming the door.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a generic problem of 84 Sentras to my knowledge.
No, this is a problem with New Paltz, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, the climatic conditions.
And it might be a problem with the fact that the weep holes in your doors are plugged up.
The what?
Weep holes, moisture that enters the door through the where the window is, has to exit the door, otherwise it stays trapped in there.
And that's down at the bottom,
That's
yeah?
at the bottom.
Yeah.
They may be plugged
Well,
up.
I think I've got more than one.
Oh, rusted through?
I mean, yeah, it is beginning to rust, particularly on the driver's side.
Well, that may be part of the problem, too. Well, here's an interim solution before you go ahead and replace the doors. Have your mechanic take the door panels off the inside, and have the mechanic cover all of the lock mechanisms with a thick grease called white grease.
Ah.
Okay, and that will probably prevent the water from getting to the mechanisms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds really...
And you couldn't figure this out for yourself? You had to call us?
Of course.
And that may, in fact, do the trick. And he can take apart all the locks and do the same thing.
Because you're right, it is very dangerous.
If he can't remedy this situation, you may want to leave the door panels off completely. So you can get in there and operate everything by hand and spray it directly with the lock DI. I'm serious.
Sure, either that or let him cut out a little hole for you to reach your hand in through the door panel.
Better than that. You don't even. All he has to do is drill a small enough hole so you can insert the little tube that comes with the lock de-icer into the hole and spray the mechanism directly.
Directly,
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, that would.
You might be able to permanently install this and mount the bottle right on the dashboard.
You could sell this now for all the people in New Paltz who are having this problem. Door lock stuck? Call Kate. 555 for a good time.
Right. We could have a lot of...
Have them try, first of all, the
grease
white
will
grease.
do it.
If he coats all that mechanism liberally with grease, I bet
on a good dry day, I would think.
On a good dry day.
My impression is just the humidity in the air brings this about. I don't even have to take it to the car wash or something.
It may be due to the porosity of your doors. That may have something to do with it. But the white grease, I bet, will fix it.
Yes.
And if that doesn't, leave the panels off so you can get in there with the ice spray there. Good luck, Kate.
Hey,
Happy
that
winter.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Yeah.
See
Bye-bye.
you later.
Now, I know you don't remember last week's puzzle, so again, we're going to play the word association game. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Weekend.
Weekends are made for Michelob.
I was looking for Gardner.
Okay.
The Great.
Houdini.
I was looking for Divide.
Great Divide.
Magic.
Johnson. How am I doing?
Hopeless. It's a Martin Gardner-inspired number-dividing puzzler.
Sudden urge to switch to metallurgy whenever they hear us say it. This is NPR.
This message comes from Car Talk and NPR sponsor BetterHelp, a truly affordable online counseling service. Fill out a questionnaire online and get matched with a licensed counselor best suited to your mental health needs. Whether it's depression, anxiety, or trauma, BetterHelp will help you overcome what stands in the way of your happiness. Learn more at BetterHelp.com and get 10% off your first month with promo code CARTALK. BetterHelp. Get help anytime, anywhere.
Support for NPR and the following message come from BetterHelp, offering online counseling. BetterHelp therapist Hesu Joe explains the importance of creating a safe space for therapy.
I can't tell you how many times I've had clients that say that expression, like, I've never told that to anybody. That's when I know I've made some kind of momentous move with this person. They feel safe enough to expose that part of themselves, and doing that together with somebody else can be very powerful.
To get matched with a counselor within 48 hours and save 10%, go to betterhelp.com/cartalk.
I'm Guy Raz, and on NPR's How I Built This, how Tim Ferriss, as an entrepreneur, author, investor, and podcaster, turned himself into a multi-million-dollar brand. Subscribe or listen now.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to talk about cars, car repair, and, of course, the answer to last week's very interesting puzzle.
Martin Gardner,
Which I don't remember.
division, and magic numbers.
Oh, this requires a pencil. Get your pencil out.
I've got one.
Okay. I think last week I asked you to pick out a 3-digit number.
Oh, I remember this.
Right.
Yes, I did.
Okay, what's your number?
1, 2, 3.
It's very unimaginative. Okay.
1, 3, 2.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 is your number.
1, 2, 3 it is.
And then I asked you to repeat those same digits. So you had the number
Oh, yeah, I had the number 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
123,123. Then I asked you to divide that number by 7.
Right.
All right.
Which I did.
You did that. And I said, also, if you have a remainder, put it to one side.
And you lied about that because I had no remainder when I picked the number last week, and I got no remainder when I pick a number this week.
Different number.
Different number. Completely
Yeah, you'll
different
have
number.
no remainder no matter what. So I did lie about that. So then I asked to divide the number by 11.
Yeah.
And again, you'll get a quotient.
And you said if there's anything left over,
Put it to one side.
There
and
was
then I
nothing
said,
left over.
divide that now by what remains by 13. And if you have a remainder, put that to one side. Mm-hmm. Okay? Take this number that you wind up with, this final quotient, and add it to the 3 remainders that you had, whatever
Yeah,
they were.
which were all zeros.
All 0. And you're going to wind up with the original number. And I asked why that happens.
Yeah.
And the reason it happens is that when you take a number like 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6 or 7, 2, 1 and multiply it by 1,001, you wind up with the same number repeated. So if you start up with 4, 5, 6 and multiply that by 1,001, you get 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, don't you?
Oh, and then all you're doing now is dividing it by the factors of 1,001.
Which happen to be, some of which happen to be 7, 11, and 13. So I knew you weren't going to come out with any
You
remainders.
little devil.
And that's the reason it works no matter what the 3 numbers are. Do we have a winner?
Jeez, I can see it. Mathematics professors all over the country giving their little students this problem. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And boy, have I got a rant and rave about mathematics. I'll discuss it with you later. But yes, we do have a winner. The winner is John Slater from Wheaton, Illinois. And for having his answer selected at random, I should say, from all the correct answers that we got, John is going to get from us a $26 gift certificate to the Shameless Commerce Division at cartalk.com, which is our website, where you can get either our mother's CD called Maternal Combustion, calls about moms and cars, or one of our collections of highly disrespectful car music, which is the best of the songs that we play during the breaks of the show. Not much of a choice, John, but hey, you wrote to us. We didn't write to you.
Yeah, we didn't go looking for you. Anyway, we have a brand new puzzler coming up from my Prisoner and Warden series.
Oh.
Yeah, Prisoner, Warden, and Hats. And that'll be coming up.
You've used a Hats Prisoner Warden.
Well, this is a little different one. I know this is one of
It's
many.
not the same one.
No. I got this out of Modern Jailer magazine. Well, they have a little section, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
So, anyway, that'll be coming up in the third half of the show, so stay tuned. Right now, if you have a question about your car, give us a call. The number is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
How you doing, guys?
Great. Who's this?
My name is Lou. I'm calling from San Francisco.
What's
Hey,
up,
Lou,
Lou?
you spell it L-E-W or L-O-U?
L-O-U.
L-O-U. That's why he said Lou.
L-O-U.
Otherwise, he would have said Lou. L-E-W.
Lou.
You.
Lou.
What's up, Lou?
I have a two-part question.
Yeah, part A and part 2.
A and 2.
Yeah.
Part A is more mechanical than scientific, and Part B is more scientific than.
Great.
Great combination, Lou.
Glad you like it.
Yeah.
I have a 1988 Mazda RX-7, and I listen to your show virtually every week, and I very rarely hear people call in and have problems with their RX-7.
Well, there's an explanation for that. Is that part of your question?
That's the first question.
Okay, go give the second question, and then I'll give them in reverse order of importance.
Part 2.
Part 2 is I live in an apartment building, so I do not have covered parking in San Francisco, and there's a long side street that I park on. Virtually every morning when I go outside, mine is the only car covered in condensation. The other cars are all dry. And I figured it would take one of you two geniuses to figure out the answer to that.
Okay, well, thanks for calling, Lou.
All right, which was the scientific question? Was the first one the scientific question? I'll tell you. Well, to answer part A.
Okay.
I'll do that one, and you can do part 2, Tom. I know the answer to part 2. It has to do with the color of your car.
It could.
Yeah, and also where you park. You're not parking.
And now,
I was going to help my brother.
If you think that is true, I don't want you to give us any hints on this one, Lou. But if my brother is right, he is going to be able to correctly identify the color of your car. But that's all right.
Well, I'm going to suggest that it's like a silvery color.
You talking?
You're right.
Yeah. See that?
Okay, that was luck.
That was luck.
The reason we don't to answer. The reason we don't have many calls about RX-7s is we don't know that many answers. So when we do get calls, we just hang up on those people. How you manage to sneak through, we don't know.
No, because first of all, there aren't very many RX-7s around.
True.
And they're virtually trouble-free.
Yeah, so you put those two things together, and there aren't very many people calling anybody with questions about RX-7s. I mean, there must be 15, 20 call-in shows for cars, and they might have gotten one of the other 19 guys.
Anyway, to go back to question 2.
Okay. Yeah.
To
Explain
go forward to question 2.
Well,
I think what happens is that you're probably parked in a spot where the sun isn't getting it.
True.
Right?
But the sun isn't getting to any of the cars on that section of the street, right, Lou?
Also true.
Also true. So now we have a whole string of cars.
First of all, wrong. The sun is getting to all of them, but very little sun is getting to all of them. If it weren't getting to all of them, they'd be where? In the dark.
Correct.
So obviously some sunlight is getting...
To some extent.
To some extent, sunlight is getting to
So
them.
I've got, let's say we got a string of cars, a red one, a yellow one, Lou's silver RX-7, and a black one. And let's throw in a white one, right?
There's no white one there.
There are no white ones on the street.
That's correct. There are no white.
There are no white
If
ones.
there was a
and
white
most of
one-
the others are dark in color.
If there was a white one, it would be as moisture-laden as yours. That's my guess.
Okay.
So check all the cars around you. If they are not all earth tones, this answer is wrong.
But don't call us back. See you later,
Because
Lou.
we're looking good already. See you later. That was very good. Silver.
Never underestimate the power of luck.
Of luck.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
It's Lita of Lincoln.
Lita.
Yeah.
Yo, hello, Lita.
Well, listen, I got my 1975 Monte Carlo, don't you see?
Yeah.
Which looks like the wreck of the Hesperus.
Yeah.
Which
Let me tell you what's wrong with it. The entire right fender has disappeared. Is that right?
There's a swallow that built a nest.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. Little straw.
Yeah, a little straw.
The actual bird, but I've seen the nest.
Yeah.
No, the birds are in Capistrano.
I mean, why?
That's why they're not there.
Why is a lovely lady named Lita from Lincoln driving such a heap as a 75 Monte Carlo? Come on.
Well, there's a limerick in here somewhere.
First of all, your neighbors are going to detest you.
They already do. They keep saying to me, why are you still driving that old wreck?
It's a statement, Lita. We know that.
Okay.
But
So you're making a statement.
what's
All
your
right.
question?
My statement is because it still runs. And
That's
that
a
never
good-
seems to satisfy
That's a
them.
pretty good answer.
So, I took the occasion to write an ode on an old car. Can I share it with you?
By all
course.
means. My brother, I'm sure, will commit this to memory.
I love odes.
Okay. Ode on an Old Car by Lita of Lincoln. This poem is dedicated to the people of GM, who in '75 created an auto way back when cars were made of iron and steel. Even in an accident, I did not feel the impact of a crash that might be gory. 'Tis the tale of my Monte Carlo in all of its glory. For 17 years, Monty sat out in the sun. No garage for cover, yet she always would run. Even during the freezing winters of Nebraska, she started as if she were built for Alaska.
Oh, good.
The car was sideswiped by a driver who was drunk. The Monte Carlo emblem was stolen by some punk. She was rear and front-ended by fools driving a truck. But her weight and design saved me. Such good luck to be driving a car that was built like a tank. It's the GM engineering I would like to thank. When a truck hit Monty, it made my teeth rattle. Impact broke the front seat. Now I ride side saddle. But rust and old age has made Monty look bad. To see Monty deteriorate makes me so sad. Car dealers offer me only $50 in cash. To trade on a new car seems quite rash. The new cars are made out of plastic and tin. Getting rid of Monty would surely be a sin. All of the new cars are priced out of sight. My house costs less. Now that doesn't seem right. So, alas and alack, what's a person to do when they don't build them like they used to? My yuppie son, in his BMW, by the way, denies we're related, except on a below-zero day when I start his car with my jumper cable. Monty to the rescue when his car's disabled. I'll cherish my Monte Carlo, my friends all say, till like the one-horse shay, she disintegrates one day. So to all you people who drive the new cars of today, you ought to see a real car, my 75 Chevrolet.
Whoa, Lita!
That was beautiful.
Good. Gee, what do you do otherwise?
Even
when
I.
When you're not sitting around just listening to us and writing crazy poetry.
I'm washing my car.
But, you know,
Well, it must take you about 5 minutes now that it's all rusted away.
The truth is that those Monte Carlos really did run forever.
Well, and they're still doing it.
They still are. It's true. And I think you should keep driving it. The hell with your neighbors. If they want to be snobs and drive those expensive Mercedes, you're much better off.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your poem, Lita.
Appreciate your support.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
1-888-CAR TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Matt Pierce from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Man,
how's the cornflake business?
I've been meaning to talk this. When I was 6 years old, I sent 10 box tops to Battle Creek, Michigan for a frog man.
And did you get it?
No, I never got it. Now, seeing you live there, can you investigate this for me?
Well, the company that you are probably talking about is one that I work for.
Yeah, let's discuss that.
In fact, it was Kellogg.
Well, as a matter of fact, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
I never got that frog man. That has scarred me, man.
Frogman, huh?
Yeah, it's a frog man that you put baking soda in.
Oh, yeah, and you didn't get it?
And you never got it.
All right, I must.
No.
I have to fess up. It came and I took it.
I knew it.
Tough.
That's why you were out all those days.
So well.
What's up, Matt?
Well, I have a question, a kind of a powder puff mechanic question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my fiance has an '86 Buick Skyhawk. It's a 5-speed. And a couple weeks ago, she was coming home from her mother's, and on the highway, it started bucking and backfiring and threatening to give up the ghost at all 5 speeds. And once it reached about 65, it began slowing down, and she couldn't get it up over 35 and decided to pull off at that moment. And what I was wondering is, when we finally had a mechanic take a look at it, he said that he thought it was maybe something in the plugs or even in the cap. And I was wondering if maybe you had an idea about whether this sounds right or whether there might be something else to look at.
It never did it again after this?
No, well, we haven't really had a chance to find out. We had it towed back.
Well, so you
Oh, it
but
wouldn't start.
No, it wouldn't.
it still doesn't start?
No.
Oh, so you've been waiting all these months to talk to us so you could...
Actually, for about the last 3 weeks, right.
Well, that's very patient. I wish we could be of more help, but...
Oh, we will be. We
Yeah.
will be. We have to draw on all our resources because Matt's been waiting all this time, and he might be able to get you the Frogman.
You're my last...
Where's your last hope?
Matt, if you can get me the frog man...
We'll come out
I'll
and fix the car ourselves. Get him off my case with this Frogman, will you?
No, I suspect what happened is some component in the electrical system gave up the ghost, in the ignition system specifically.
In the ignition?
Yeah, your coil probably conked out. And that's why it began to run poorly when the engine was warmed up.
Okay.
And it might have been that it could have even restarted once it cooled off. That's a classic symptom. But the ignition module could have conked out too. And again, that can happen without notice. You're driving along, everything is peachy, you've got the radio on, listening to your favorite Wayne Newton tape, and everything's just dandy, and boom, the world comes to an end.
Yeah. Well, another suggestion by a friend, so-called, was something that he said that the sending unit may also have been wrong. Would that be the same thing?
Which sending unit?
Sending what?
Yeah.
Like a mailman?
As I said, this is a powder puff mechanic.
Well, that you ran out of gas, you mean?
Well, he said something about the with the oil pressure, it would not read the correct oil pressure to feed, and that would be causing the bucking and the backfiring.
No, lack of oil pressure would cause the engine to melt.
Okay.
So if it didn't melt,
and it would do that without telling you in advance. It would just melt.
when you tried to restart it, it in fact cranked. You were able to turn the key, and the engine cranked over.
Yeah.
Okay, but it didn't start.
No.
Right. So the oil sending unit has got nothing to do with it.
There may be a problem with that, but if there were, you would have ruined the engine in all likelihood. My guess is, you know what size engine this thing is? 86 Skyhawk. It may have an overhead cam engine, and it may have broken the timing belt.
Well, it's got the fuel injection on it.
Yeah, that's okay. You can have that too. You could have broken that too. But if the timing belt broke, then the valves wouldn't open and close, and the engine would stop running. And it could have been that the timing belt began to jump. As it began to fail, it began to jump so that the valve timing was off, and that would cause the thing to run very poorly, lose power, and then finally when it jumped so much, or in fact it actually broke, the thing would stop running entirely.
Did it backfire at all before it died?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was bucking and backfiring.
That's probably what happened. Give him a Rolaids, will you? You all right? The timing belt probably broke.
That's it.
If it isn't that, it's the module. If it isn't that, it's the coil. Don't let them sell you all three because not all three of them went.
Oh, okay.
And if it is the timing belt, that frogman could go to Car Talk Tower.
They must have some of these hanging around, right, Matt?
We'll check out that.
I will be forever in your debt.
Hey, Matt, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Anchors away.
And Matt, sell that car first chance you get.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, look, before we get to the new puzzler, and I know you can't wait, we have to take a short break.
I have to admit that I've never liked the fact that we take a break during this part of the show. I think it sends the wrong message to the listeners.
Yeah? Well, what message would that be?
Well, that the radio station sounds so much better when we're not talking.
They already know that. We'll be back with more of your calls and a brand new puzzler in just a minute, so don't go.
The National Mummy Association lobbies for tighter ear wrapping standards whenever they hear us say it. This is NPR.
Support for NPR and the following message come from BetterHelp, offering online counseling. BetterHelp therapist Hesu Joe explains the importance of creating a safe space for therapy.
I can't tell you how many times I've had clients that say that expression, like, I've never told that to anybody. That's when I know I've made some kind of momentous move with this person. They feel safe enough to expose that part of themselves, and doing that together with somebody else can be very powerful.
To get matched with a counselor within 48 hours and save 10%, go to betterhelp.com/cartalk.
Hey, it's me again. Just a reminder that if you haven't pledged yet to your local station, now is a great time to do it. Why? Because you're listening to Car Talk, so we know you won't miss anything important. And your station is counting on you, and they're literally waiting to hear from you. You can pledge online right now by going to donate.npr.org/cartalk. That's donate.npr.org/cartalk. Thanks. Ha! We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the new puzzler, which, as I promised, is from the prisoner, and the warden and the hat series.
Oh, all three categories.
Exactly, and this was sent in. I had to change it around a little bit, but not much. This was sent in by someone named David Young, and David, if he catches us, we'll get a gift certificate to the Shameless Commerce Division. Anyway, here it is. Basically, the warden admits 3 prisoners into his chambers there, and he tells them, look, he said, one of you is going to have a chance to get out, and here's the deal. I'm going to blindfold all of you, but after I blindfold you, I'm going to put on your heads hats. I have 3 white hats and 2 black hats in front of me. Okay, so you're not going to know which color hat.
There were 3 prisoners, you said.
There are 3 prisoners, but 5 hats.
5 hats, okay.
Okay, 3 whites and 2 blacks.
Yeah.
Okay, and so each of you is going to get a hat, and of course you have to figure out which color hat you have if you're going to get released. So he blindfolds them and puts a hat on each of them. And then they're let out of the room in single file, so that the guy at with the blindfolds and the hats on.
Okay.
The guy in the back can see the 2 people in front of him when his blindfold is removed. The guy in the middle can see the 1 person in front, and the guy in front can see nobody.
Nungatzes,
right? The guy in the front can see.
Wait. And they can't turn around.
No,
they have to walk around the prison in this order.
No, until one of them identifies what color his hat is.
Yeah.
So the fellow at the back is asked what color his hat is.
Oh, this is right outside the prison.
Outside the warden's office. Their blindfolds are off.
Right.
And he says to the fellow at the back, who can see the 2 people in front and their hats, can you tell me what color your hat is? Don't forget, there are 3 white hats and 2 black hats available to the warden. The fellow in the back says nothing. He doesn't know.
Oh, if you get a wrong answer, you stay for an extra 10 years.
No, you just stay.
Stay.
Until the next time he comes up with a different game.
Yeah.
The fellow in the middle is asked the same question. Can you tell me what color your hat is? He is unable to answer.
Okay, I got the answer.
The guy in the very front who can see no hats.
He knows.
He does. He knows, and he says, I can identify the color of my hat. And the question very simply is, what color was his hat?
And how the heck did he know it?
Bingo. Now, if you think you know the answer, write it on the back of a 5-CD Ray Charles 50th anniversary box set and send it to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Matt 022 38. But right now, if you have a question about your car or anything else, the number to call is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Melinda from San Francisco.
How you
I had
doing?
a little palpitation there for a minute with
Melissa.
Melinda.
I have to say that I thought the same thing.
Yes, I did.
Just for the moment, that little...
I had a little stoppage of the heart. What's up, Melinda?
Well, I have a sleek turquoise 74 Dodge Dart.
Jeez.
And recently I was driving over the Bay Bridge, and there was this loud pop. The radio started smoking. The whole electrical system shut down.
Yeah.
So, of course, I pulled over. I'd been listening to a soul station. They were playing James Brown. So that kind of worried me. I opened the hood. The only thing I noticed was one of the ground wires going to the alternator, which had been taped together, had come apart. So I sat there for a few minutes. The bridge police came. They sent the tow truck, but the car started back up.
It had stalled?
Yeah.
Everything electrical had
Everything
stopped,
electrical
and then it
shut
came
down. The car
back
stalled,
on?
and then it all came back on.
After you fixed this wire?
No.
No.
She didn't touch anything. That's
No.
why.
Okay, just checking. Just trying to get the facts.
I had the three answers that I had just went out the window.
It came back on.
Okay.
Now, the strange thing is it blew out all the brake lights and the turn signal lights.
Ah.
I know it. Okay.
I got it now.
I do too.
Now, I took it into the shop, and they looked at the M meter and kind of checked the wire connection.
Yeah, the ammeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had just replaced the windshield wiper motor, so they kind of checked all around there to make sure I hadn't done anything wrong.
Oh, you did that yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And
She had to. Nobody would work on it. I have a 74 Dodge Diahatsus. Don't bring it in here, lady.
But the thing is now the radio has this buzz in it, which gets worse when you accelerate.
I'll bet it does.
Yeah. So what do you think happened?
But everything else is now working again?
What blew? I'll tell you what blew.
Okay.
A capacitor.
A capacitor.
And I'll tell you where the capacitor was. It's probably floating around San Francisco Bay now. It was attached to the alternator.
Ah.
There's a radio suppression capacitor.
Uh-huh.
Well, there used to be. I'll rephrase it. Used to be a radio suppression capacitor, I bet, attached to the back of the alternator.
That does answer most. It does meet most of the elements.
I am going to tie it all together.
I'm waiting
with my uniform electrified field theory. What happened?
I just want you to know that I'm watching you.
Oh, don't watch, man. It makes me nervous.
Because I had all the theories you had.
Here's what happened.
I'm in trouble for explaining everything with the capacitor idea.
No, the capacitor is the result. One of the results.
Okay, I like that.
What happened was the thing overcharged momentarily because of a fault with the voltage regulator.
Nice.
Okay, which may still be at fault. That explains why the bulbs blew out.
Right.
Okay.
That explains why your flux capacitor blew out.
You had a surge of output from the alternator.
Okay.
Which blew everything up.
Blew the lights out.
Okay.
Okay, and at the same time blew this capacitor. That's why your radio has the 60 cycle hum, or whatever cycles the thing is putting out. And you need to probably replace the voltage regulator because that is the dangerous component in the system here.
Okay.
So I think that'll solve the problem, and you need to get a new radio suppression capacitor. But you may have blown something in the radio. But I don't know what's in radios.
Yeah, if there were not a capacitor laying there, then it's possible that you did just blow something in the radio because of this surge of current.
Okay.
And voltage.
Right.
Because radios don't like 25 volts. But what the heck, it's only a 74 Dart.
Exactly.
That's what it is. But you can replace that regulator yourself. That's easy. But I tell you, I probably would take it to a shop that has all the equipment because there may be more going on than you think.
Okay. Well, they replaced the alternator when I took it in because that was going bad.
Oh, that was before this occurred?
No, after. Yeah, they said, we can't figure out really what's wrong, but your alternator's bad.
But we need to make a boat payment this month, so we'll sell you an alternator.
Exactly.
Okay.
Did these guys seem like they knew what they were doing?
Why would that have any effect on No, I wouldn't let that interfere with my,
Because,
what
I
they
mean,
do.
it's easy to misdiagnose alternators, regulators. I know what the question. I asked the wrong question.
How old was the guy that worked
How
on it?
old was the guy who worked on it?
Probably 40s.
Marginal.
We'll say late. We'll go to late 40s.
Oh, late
If
40s?
he's in his 40s, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
keep driving. You're all set. Don't worry about a thing.
Okay.
Get the radio fixed. You can hear us better.
Okay, good. It's only AM, though.
Well, I was just going to say, she doesn't have any FM radio in this thing. Are you kidding? Thanks for calling.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for your
Pleasure
call.
to
Bye-bye.
talk to you. Bye-bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Steve in Chicago, formerly of East Arlington, Massachusetts.
We can tell by your accent, Steve.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So what's up, Steve? And how did you get to Chicago? And do you like it there? And why did you leave Arlington?
Oh,
All those
man.
questions. Come on.
You never actually want to get to, so is this like a special 3 or 4 hour show?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah.
I got to Chicago for a career and a girl. I lost the girl, and I've given up on the career. So I'll come home now. Hey, the caller that I feel the most for was that 18-year-old girl or something who was totally depressed.
What, you want us to give her your number?
You made me spit my coffee all over the table.
So let me see. So the romance is down the tube. The career's down the
10 years
tube.
ago. Wait.
What do you want, Jack Kevorkian's number?
When are you getting back?
No, I'm way beyond that Jack Kevorkian thing. I figured I might as well.
Oh, good.
No, that was 10 years ago.
Oh.
That was 10 years ago. But the career I just gave up on this recently. But I do have ideas, but I can't tell it to you on the air.
No,
I can tell
we
it
can
to you
talk
some
about
other
it
time.
later.
What, you have inventions?
Yeah. What's that?
You have inventions?
Actually, something better. I originally was going
Crime.
I can't
If
tell
it's
you.
not an invention, it's going to be a scam.
No.
That's the only thing that's better, because you don't have to make anything.
Right. I try to come up with inventions and stuff, but the
No,
problem
it's too
was
hard.
I didn't know how to actually make
You
them.
need a prototype. A scam. You don't need anything.
You don't need anything.
I had the ergonomic beach chair, but I couldn't figure out how the hell do you actually make it ergonomic?
Yeah, and how do you spell ergonomic? All right, let's get down to business here.
Okay.
What's up?
All right. I have an Acura Integra GSR.
What year?
It's 1996. Oh, and it's forest green, sort of. That could be
Gotcha.
important. You never know.
Okay.
I went to, a month or two ago, I went to a party in the suburbs. Two friends of mine, they eloped. And then they decided to have a party to celebrate it.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, went to this party, and they had this, designated lot. Said, strictly you must park here if you're going to the clubhouse. That's what they call the party room or whatever it was in this sort of...
Got it.
Okay. By about midnight at this party, all the, boring people with kids, they're gone. And
was that one group or was that two separate groups?
No, it's lots and lots of people, all their friends. It was a great time.
Yeah.
But 1 o'clock is when the party room's supposed to close. But Jerry had gotten verbal permission. Never get verbal permission.
Yeah.
Verbal permission to have the party go later.
Yeah.
And so at about 2 o'clock, when people that were still there, somebody decided to leave. Went out, came back, said, "Hey guys, my car's been towed." We all went outside.
Mm-hmm.
Every car in the lot,
Gone.
except mine, were gone.
They didn't want yours.
Now, I was wondering, my car, front-wheel drive, standard transmission, it was parked head-in and in gear, with the parking brake on.
That's why they didn't tow it.
That is why?
Yeah.
What they would have to do is get into the car with the Jimmy and then put it into neutral.
Uh-huh.
And they obviously couldn't get in, or they didn't have the Slim Jim with them.
Or they were coming. They had just gone to
Or
get
they-
the Slim Jim,
When
and
you
they were on
showed
their
up.
way back.
They had done everybody else's car, saved mine for last?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, if yours had been, for example, parked in the other way, backed in, they would have just lifted it up and rolled it away. But you can't tow a vehicle that's in gear because you're going to drag the tires along the ground.
Right.
And you were in first gear?
Right.
They probably have learned the hard way. We had a puzzler about this ages ago.
Oh, wow.
That if you take an engine that has a timing belt and you make the engine turn backwards, which they would have done by towing you out if you were in first.
Uh-huh.
What would have happened is that as they pulled you, the wheels would have turned, but they would have turned and it's transmitted that energy to the engine, but it would have made the engine turn backwards because you were moving backwards, but the car was in what? A forward gear. And by doing so, it would have made the timing belt jump.
Right.
And it would have wrecked your engine. And they probably learned that from towing somebody else's Acura or maybe a Honda or whatever and getting sued. And it wasn't worth it, so they were going back to get the Slim Jim, and you just happened to come out right away. But the more important question is, how'd you make out at the party?
No, this was not that kind of party.
Oh, it wasn't, because they were all boring.
Yeah, it's all, no. Everybody was boring. It was all friends and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
So, although I did sort of scope it out.
Yeah, you got a few phone numbers, right?
You have to.
And you got to get some clue as to who's getting ready to break up with whom.
Right, like that Seinfeld episode. Oh, yeah, I waited 3 years for that marriage to end.
Well, Steve, we'll be looking forward to seeing you back here in the Boston area.
Okay.
All the reasons you went there are now
They're gone. They're defunct.
Hey.
But how is Chicago in general?
In general, Chicago's a great place. And when I was doing my best, I came here to be an options trader. And when I was doing my best and making a lot of money, I was about to enact a lifestyle where I maybe spent 8 months here, but a couple months in Boston area, and
a couple of months in Bahamas.
Yeah, exactly.
No, St. John.
Yeah.
Virgin Islands.
St. Croix.
St. Croix.
St. Croix's all right.
Same thing.
Because I have a friend there, but
female friend?
No, actually male
Just
friend.
checking. Okay.
And he's married. Beautiful wife. I'm waiting that one out too. No. But Chicago is a great place.
Steve,
thanks for calling, Steve.
When you get to Boston, call us. We'll go for coffee.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
He'll give us some hot tips on options.
Yeah, he's got all his options open. Well, you've done it again. You've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion, Bongo Boy Berman. Our associate producers are David the Calves of Belleville Green and Catherine Frau Blucher Fenolosa. Our web lackey is Doug the Old Gray Mare, assisted by Connie Bridgeford. Our engineer is John Cartman Parati. Our theme music is by David Dog Grisman. Our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor just back from the Coeur d'Alene, Ovaltine, Lima Bean, Salad Green, Jimmy Dean, Brewed Caffeine, Dairy Queen, Lean Cuisine, and Melamine make the scene lunch routine is John Bush Lawler.
Very well done.
Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin O'Vera. Our customer care representative is Haywood Jabuzzoff. Our personal makeup artist is Bud Tugley. Our director of preventive maintenance is Oscar Ruitt. Our snowboarding instructor from Sweden is Soren de Keister. Tommy's personal psychiatrist is Manny Luce Cruz. Our optometric firm is CFI Care. Guest accommodations are provided by the Horseshoe Road Inn. The head of our working mother support group is Erasmus B. Dragon. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known to the Olympic team jaywalkers in Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tapper Brothers. Don't drive like my brother, please.
Don't drive like my brother, please.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.